Hello everybody, I am Samuel15, the Dragon Team here today, and welcome to Pokemon TCG Online Guest Trainer Friday, or each and every single Friday we try and talk to someone who's into the competitive scene or a fellow YouTuber or something along those lines, and we either talk about the list or have a game or two. And today we have Chris Hoag, who has been generous enough to give us his second place cities deck list that he used to come second in Valparaiso, Indiana. And
Oh,
yep, and this is Donphan deck. So yeah, so why did you choose to play Donphan going into that cities?
um, let's see. I think my reasoning for playing Donphan was well, first off, it was basically the best deck in format at the time. It was only the second week of cities.
Oh yeah,
People hadn't figured out that fairies can beat Donphan at that
very
point.
easily.
Um, so I figured I would go for it. It's just powerful. I mean, it had really good matchups that entire week, so I figured it'd be a strong play. And for my first cities of the season, why not? I'll give it a go. So that was my reasoning, I think.
So what kind of decks did you run into during the Swiss rounds? Because I believe there were six Swiss rounds.
Yeah, 6 Swiss rounds. I think I remember each round. So I'll just talk about each round.
All right.
First round I played against Night March with Gorgeist.
Ugh.
That was easy. He couldn't get his Gorgeist out at all.
Oh, okay.
Um, and he started Joltik and bench Joltiks, and I think I knocked out a Joltik with the Fampi, so that was cool. And let's see, second round I played Evil Tall Netric. That was my first loss of the day, and I think
Who was
he
playing
got.
you? Who was playing Evolto Manetric?
I think his name was Spencer.
Did he end up
Yeah,
top 8ing?
yeah, he got seventh after Swiss,
Oh,
I think. Um, that was going into Top Cut, obviously.
yeah.
Round three, I played against Landorus Lucario Garbodor, which that's an easy matchup. Fun fact: I started Kyurem, and he started Landorus, and he hit Strong Energy, Muscle Band, and hit me for 70 with Hammerhead, and I attached a DCE and just knocked him out and won the game. So that was fun. Um,
Wow, you basically donked him.
yeah, it was beautiful.
If
Well, it
I
wasn't
were,
really a donk because I went first and
uh,
he went second, but whatever. Round four, that was after lunch break. So
yeah,
round four, I played against Evil Tall Hard Charm. That was Cody, who I think you featured before.
yeah.
Um,
Not the same
and
deck
that
though.
was when he whiffed cut at ninth place. So
Oof.
I felt so bad for him, but oh well. And then round five, I played against a Donphan Mirror,
Oh,
same
I
guy
hate
who would
that.
end up playing in the finals. And sixth round was I think Landorus Manetric, and that was while it was in like its that was while it was starting to develop because toward the end of cities it became a really popular archetype. So
Yes.
that was while it was still developing. So they were playing like Driftblim and Lucario, like a lot of Lucario, and it
Yeah.
seemed like they kind of toned it down and made the deck more streamlined later on. That's when I
Uh,
played Swiss, then Top Cut,
who are you playing?
uh,
Who are you playing? Baka?
Hondo.
Oh, Hondo. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you beat Hondo, but he still
that one,
didn't
that
end
one,
top
that
8
one
anyway.
was so hard because at that point he was 4-1 and I was 3-1-1, and had he not gotten paired
Ooh.
against me, he would have ID'd with his opponent. Uh, and then I beat him, and he was angry. He thought he was gonna whiff, and then he got eighth. So that was cool. Um,
He wasn't so much angry. He just seemed so more irritated to me.
yeah,
He's
and
frustrated.
and then the cities the next week, I was 2-2 and he was 3-1, and we got paired up the last round. So I put him in the same situation, but he beat me that time, so it was
Yeah.
all good. Let's see, and then top cut, top eight. I played against Steven with Evil Tall Hard Charm. I
Oh, yeah.
would game three I would have lost had he gotten another turn, but I top decked Lysander and knocked out his Darkrai.
Yeah.
That was great. And then
Yeah,
top four,
well,
top four
Steven
was
was telling me about that, how
yeah,
unlucky that whole entire
yeah, lucky. That was the luckiest game I've ever played. Uh, Top four I played against Magnetric Toad Balloons.
oh,
I think
Aaron Tarbell?
Yeah.
He actually beat me round 2.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's a really good player.
Oh,
I respect him a lot.
he's a very positive player
He's
too. He's a very nice
he's
player.
he's really I think he's really close to his invite. If I'm not mistaken, he's at like 200 something championship points, 260 something.
Yes, he is. He's in the top 25 actually
Yep.
because
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I cover that.
Yeah. And then I ended up beating him basically because game 1 he started Jirachi, and game 3 he started Manetric, and those are horrible starts for Donphan match.
Mm.
Um, and then finals I ended up playing a Donphan mirror, the same guy I played in Swiss. His name's
Those are
Jared.
awful, aren't they?
We were really chill. It was funny because right before we were doing top 2, the judge was just like, okay, you guys can have 5 minutes to get a drink, eat something, just stretch out, relax until the final match. So we ended up just dancing through the hall because at that point they had taken down all the tables except for our table. So we turned on music and started dancing. It was, at least if I recall correctly, that might have been in different cities though. I don't know, but whatever.
Sounds like fun.
Oh yeah, plenty of fun. So yeah, that was my day. So
How brutal was the mirror match? Because
oh god, the mirror is an interesting thing. It's essentially who can wreck each other's Donphan the best and who can avoid each other's outrage Pokemon. Which it really stunk because we went into game 3. I was playing a Kyurem, as you can see on the list,
yeah,
and he wasn't. And Kyurem is so clutch in the mirror because you hit Donphan for weakness. Game
yeah.
3, I prized my Kyurem.
Wow.
That was so unlucky, and then he eventually knocked out a good chunk of my Phanpy because I missed the turn 1 Phanpy game 3. Because I started with like an N and all energies, and I think my starter was a Lucha. So that's just horrible. And I
Yeah.
played N and I got nothing. So
Why did you lose one of the other games? Did you also prize a Kyurem or just your opponent had a better start?
That while he went first, and usually who goes first gets the advantage.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an unspoken rule.
Yeah.
I think he just got Delai Sanders at the right time, coordinating the Rex at the right time too. All that. That's pretty crucial to the mirror. So
Oh, yeah, I would very much assume it is.
yeah,
So what was your opponent's name again?
Jared Weiss, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I think I remember that name, yeah.
yeah, he's cool. We talk on and off. We're pretty chill. So
Alright, so now let's go into like your decisions making on the exact list. A lot of people seem to not play these the outragers or the safeguards too much anymore in the Donphan decks. So why did you decide to put the outragers in Siglith in your deck?
I think the big thing with the Outragers is that it added an extra attacker. And it's a good wall too. I mean, Donphan is a good attacker in and of itself. So what you would do is you would use Donphan's spinning turn and switch into an Outrager. Usually, if you could, you would coordinate it by weakness. So if you were playing
Yes.
against Yveltal, you'd go into Zekrom, or if you were playing against Donphan or Landorus, you'd go into Kyurem.
Yeah.
And then if you had to, you could hit them for weakness. It's also 130 hit points, which is an odd number to hit. Yveltal can usually hit it with like a Y Cyclone Laser Bank.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's why I played the Outragers. I think they're generally good, and I think people should still play them, although I think Kyurem is the best one to play now. I don't really like Zekrom because of how popular Manetric fighting has gotten. And I don't like Reshiram. A lot of people question why I didn't play Reshiram. They're like, oh, this will help you so much in your Virgin matchup. I personally didn't play it because they can find a way to red signal around it fairly easily, so I didn't see a point in playing it.
Whenever I face a Donphan deck with the Reshiram, I never attack. I never attack it.
Yeah.
I always either on the rare occasion I'll just pass. I'd rather pass.
Yeah.
Actually, there was one time where I ended up having to attack Reshiram because I wanted to Emerald Slash onto the Virizion, but that was about it. I'll avoid attacking that. If I do attack it, I'll one-shot it with like a Muscle Band and a Deoxys on the bench.
Yeah.
because it does have the same amount of HP as Donphan.
Right.
So, why? I have a question about the whole entire Sigilyph. I've been noticing people, if they're gonna play a safeguard, they're playing Sigilyph over Suicune. Why Sigilyph over Suicune? The retreat cost?
Two things. The retreat cost, first off, it's 1 instead of 2.
Yeah.
So you can, if you have to, your ideal situation is to have Floatstone on there and switch that way.
Yeah.
But the 1 retreat's good. You can attach a Fighting Energy or a DCE as opposed to if you were playing Suicune, you'd have to attach a DCE to retreat.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really like about it too is if you somehow get stuck up there and they have Laser Bank out, when they play a laser, it goes 30 going into your turn, 60 going into theirs, and then it knocks you out going into your turn. Whereas if you played Suicune, it would knock you out going into their turn, and that gives them more of an advantage.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't face it much because I was pretty good at switching out. I think I only played 1 deck that actually played Laser Bank. No, 2. But, yeah. So that's why I played Sigilyph.
And
yeah.
I didn't think that. I had a feeling about the retreat cost, but I didn't think of the HP being that much of a factor.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so I've noticed that some people are actually starting not to play Wobbuffets as much, or like either they're focusing on Outragers and Safeguards, or the Wobbuffets and Robosubs. So why do you decide to play the 2 Wobbuffet as well?
Honestly, going into the tournament, I was only going to play 1 Wobbuffet. It's just good against most decks like Virizion Genesect that can shut off their red signal ability so they can't get your Donphan. It's good against fairies and metal, so they can't use fairy transfer, can't use metal links. And my main reasoning was I was honestly expecting a lot of metal.
And there's only 2 or 3.
Yeah, there weren't very many. And I didn't play any at all. But, so I upped it to 2 the morning of, and it actually turned out to be really, really good, especially against my match against Cody, because he was playing Rushing Keldeo. So he couldn't use his Russian at all, which was really good because he kept powering stuff up on the bench, and then he couldn't rush in and retreat, and he wasn't hitting his switches effectively. And then it was just perfect because then I could just use Lysander, bring up the thing he was trying to charge up, and then just wreck it. So.
Yeah, I remember him telling me about that, how PO'd he was about losing that.
Yeah, it was so clutch because I had a Robo substitute active. He had normal Eviltal active. I had 1 prize left. I think he had like 2 or 3. And he played N. And I drew 1 card, and I had the game in hand, but I drew 1 card, and it was a double colorless energy, and I put it on and I wrecked for game. So yeah, that's really understandable that he was kind of pissed.
So you also play a Hawlucha. Some of you play 2 or none at all. Why just like the 1?
I like the 1. I don't know why I play 1. I don't think I need to play 2 because you don't need it that often. You more so want to attack with Donphan than anything. But the 1 Hawlucha is really clutch because it doesn't apply resistance, so it can go in on whatchamacallit, Eviltal EX, not affect resistance at all. It's also a good Toad attacker because, you know, Toad applies weakness to Donphan, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And it also, not at that tournament, but I've also been playing some other tournaments recently, and it's really good at knocking out Mew EX. You attach Strong Energy, Muscle Band, Fighting Stadium, and you're doing 120, and it knocks it out. So, that's why I like Hawlucha.
Yeah, because I had
it looks cool too, so I mean, why wouldn't you play it?
Alright, so you also play a let's see, let's go on to the items. First there's Computer Search. I think that's pretty standard for Donphan decks.
Yeah, I've seen a couple play Life Do, but they haven't really done very well.
No, I've seen a few people actually play a Gold Potion. Like I saw one person play Gold Potion, but that was online. So
that's online. Online doesn't count.
Yeah. You play 3 Robosub. Why the 3? Only 3.
Excuse me. 3 Robosub. In my testing, I had tested playing with 2 Robosub, 3 Robosub, 4 Robosub, and every time I was playing 4, I found myself never needing the 4th. I found that 3 was the right number, and when I was playing 2, I found that I wasn't hitting them effectively. And when I played 3, I was hitting them at the right time, it seemed, and it was just the right amount, and I could still have space for other cards in the deck. So that's why I went with 3. Although my Donphan deck that I've been playing recently only plays 2,
Ooh.
but it has more of an emphasis on Wobbuffet. So
So you play 1 star on the Megaphone, which I think is standard. 1 switch. I think that's kind of okay.
yeah.
2 Ultra Ball, also okay since you do play 3 Karina. And 2 VS Seeker standard. Now let's go into to the supporters, which I do find a little, especially only 1 Colress. Why only 1 Colress?
I think the one Colress came down to deck space. I think it was a debate between whether I wanted to play, what was it? I think it was either the second Colress or the third Robo Sub, and I went for the Robo Sub over the Colress. So yeah, that's really my only reasoning. Although I didn't use Colress a ton during the tournament, obviously, because I only used 1. And the times when I did use it, I used VS Seeker to get it. Because it seemed like every game I would open with it with an Ultra Ball, so I would just discard it because I didn't want it. So
yeah, normally when you want, that's the same strategy I usually use when I only have like 1 of a support and I have an Ultra Ball on him, and I just Ultra Ball that support away because I know I have VS Seeker in there.
right,
and I have more of a chance of drawing into it now that it's in this card because I play 2 VS Seeker.
yeah.
Another thing I know, everything else seems standard in terms of supports: 2 Lysander, 3 Karina, 4 N, 4 Sycamore. The one thing though I notice a lot of Donphan decks play, and that your list doesn't seem to have, is the I forgot what Lysander's trump card. Why do you not play that?
The reason I didn't play it at that tournament was because I did not have a copy. That's the only reason I didn't. Well, that's not the only reason I didn't play it. I hadn't tested with it at all, and I hadn't thought of it, and that's why I didn't play it. Although, in retrospect, Lysander's trump card actually hurt me during the tournament because my opponent was playing it, and he was going to deck out next turn, and he played it, and it was the Donphan mirror in round 5. He was about to deck out, and he was turn 1 going. It was after time was called. So had he not played that trump card, I would have won. Oh well.
But I think like for most part, like the trump card is pretty handy.
It is pretty good. Just so you can shuffle all your resources back in. Although you got to be really careful when you play it to make sure that you're not giving your supporter or your opponent an edge as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I
would probably play it in my current Donphan deck if I had the room.
Alright, so 3 Fighting Stadium, pretty standard. Now this is something that your tool line is something that I'm kind of going about. You play 4 Floatstone.
Yeah, 4 Floatstone. Yeah, I know, it's weird because like every time I show people my list, they're like, "Ew, why the hell are you playing 4 Floatstone?" But like,
especially with 1 switch.
Especially, well, the cool thing about Floatstone is when I was testing at my local league, I saw a lot of people playing 2 megaphones, and I wasn't really assuming a ton of people would show up to cities. Well, a ton of people did, which is really good for the organizers, but I was expecting people to be playing 2 megaphones, so I thought I'll up the Floatstone to 4 just to be safe. But it played out really good because I think every opponent I played a megaphone in some way, shape, or form, and it was really clutch too because, you know, I could play Karina and pretty much guarantee that I was going to have a Floatstone in there, whereas if I were playing 2 or 3, they might be prize. So 4 Floatstone came in really clutch that tournament.
But if you had to change it now, would you change it down to 2 or 3?
I'd probably go 3, honestly. I'd probably change it to 3, maybe either add a Chorus or a trump card, or maybe an Enhanced Hammer. Enhanced Hammer is kind of good in the mirror. I didn't consider that before the tournament, but oh well.
And you know, the attacking tools, the 3 Muscle Band and a 1 Silver Bangle. I also found this kind of a little weird as well. So why not 2 Muscle Band and 1 Silver Bangle?
I think my reasoning for the 3 Muscle Band over like the 2-2 split
was
that I was expecting a lot more non-EX decks just based off of testing at League because a lot of people were playing, you know, Night March Donphan,
Yeah.
and all that. So I went the 3 muscle band. And it's also fairly consistent because you can just hit strong energy and muscle band fairly easily, and fighting stadium and hit for 100. It's not that bad at all.
Yeah.
But the 1 silver bangle is good, especially when you're playing against like Aegis Slash decks, because you can't hit them with special energy, so your strong energies are useless. So you just attach normal fighting, and then silver bangle and fighting stadium, it'll hit for 90, I think. Yeah, 90. And that's good, so you can 2-hit KO them again, as opposed to not playing the silver bangle and just 3-hit KOing them.
Yeah. Oh, this reminds me of something that happened during Cities. My opponent legitimately attached all 4 of his fighting energy onto a single Donphan.
I saw that. Was it against what's his name? Franco?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I could have. I think I saw that. That was kind of awesome.
And then I Lysandered it up, and I knocked him out with my Aegis Slash with a muscle band and like another steel energy on it. And
man,
it wasn't actually Frank; it was someone else.
Oh, okay.
But I actually ended up tying against Frank, even though I would have ended up winning if we had more time. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, after that, he basically just looked through his deck, and he saw that he had both VS Seeker in there. He saw that he had his trump card in there, and then he just went, "I'm not gonna win this," and he just extended his hand and said, "Good game."
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was kind of me in my finals match. I realized that he had knocked out 3 of my Fampi, and the last one was prize. So I was just kind of like, whatever, GG, and I scooped. Second place was still cool though. That was the first time I've ever topped at anything, so I was stoked on it.
Your energy count seems pretty standard as well, though I would know, though if I were you, I would have upped it to 5 fighting energy.
Yeah, that's more so personal preference.
Yeah,
I think that energy count worked perfectly for the tournament, so.
3 DCE I think is also pretty standard. I think at this point, especially if you're expecting a lot of enhanced hammer. So if you had to make any changes to this list, what changes would you make?
Let's see. Honestly, I'd probably cut the Zekrom. Just because, like I said earlier, Minetric fighting is becoming really popular now.
It is.
And it can essentially 1-hit KO your Kyurem, or not your Kyurem, your Zekrom fairly easily.
Yeah, it seems like another deck this deck I think struggles with is Landorus Crobat, or Landbats as I like to call it.
Yeah. Oh, good old Landbats.
Like, a lot of weird decks seem to be coming up out of nowhere over Cities and starting to like doing.
Yeah, it was cool to see the progression of all of the decks over Cities, because like as it started, you didn't see very many interesting decks. It was just your standard, Donphan, Eviltal, Brazilian Genesect, Metal.
Yeah,
and then out of nowhere, just a slew of really cool decks happened. Like a Tyrantrum Big Basics deck topped. A lot of Crobat decks started popping up.
Yeah.
At Rockford Cities, an Evolutions deck topped.
Slowpuff started coming out.
Slurpuff, Seismitoad, yeah. Just a lot of weird stuff. But that's really good, because that shows that the meta is wide open, and it's like the healthiest I've ever seen it. I mean, I've only been playing competitively for roughly a year, but looking back at past formats, where everything was just Darkrai Mewtwo. Good old Darkrai.
That was like when Darkrai first coming out, going into Worlds. That whole entire format was Darkrai Mewtwo.
Darkrai Mewtwo with Smeargle, Shaman,
maybe
all that.
With maybe a Kling deck here and there.
Yeah, Kling. Yeah, but there are so many decks currently. I could name at least 10 probably that are good, and that's awesome. It's so good the meta is so good, so wide open. It's a great time to start playing, in my opinion. So
it's funny because like last format, like with Furious Fist coming out, the format was just kind of boring to me until like Donphan came out. Then like Breathe a Little Life, but it just felt boring to me.
What point of the format was boring? Because I thought last season was pretty good when XY started. Well, when XY came out, everyone was playing Eviltal, which kind of sucked. But as more of the XY sets came out last format, things got a lot more diverse. We saw a good slew of Pyroar decks, which was cool to see.
Yeah.
What else was there? Aromatisse decks started popping up, which was pretty cool to see, and a lot of variants too. You could either play the Plasma variant or just the normal Big Basics variant.
There's even a variant that focused around Kling.
Plasma Kling. with like Registeel and Skarmory, I think.
Yeah, they do one estates.
Yep. And it was completely unexpected, which is awesome. I love completely unexpected stuff.
I even actually had that deck built.
Oh, good gracious. Are any of those Registeel isn't in format anymore though, so
No, I don't.
just Skarmory. It's just Skarmory and what was the other attacker in that
Cobalion.
deck? Cobalion, yeah.
And like I would actually, if I'm making around this format, I would actually take out like the Skarmory. Actually, no, keep the Skarmory in and like put in an Aegislash instead of the. Because Aegislash is good.
Yeah.
So
anyway, we were talking about what I was gonna cut, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's all good. So Zekrom. I don't know what else I'd cut. Honestly, I might cut the Startling Megaphone.
I would keep it in.
Maybe Megaphone. Probably one Floatstone. That's probably what I'd cut. I don't know what I'd put in though. Maybe a second Colress. Maybe Trump Card. Enhanced Hammer, maybe.
I wouldn't put it in an Enhanced Hammer personally.
Yeah, Enhanced Hammer is really good in the mirror, so you can just take off their strong energy or their DCE.
Yeah,
but they can't wreck you.
It's beautiful. But if you're gonna play Enhanced Hammer the way I see, you should play 2 or bust.
I don't know. I think the guy I played, I think Jared, the guy I played in finals, he only played 1 in his deck. So.
Huh.
But in most decks, 2 is standard. It's either you go 4 or you go 2 or you just don't. If you're gonna play, it's the exact same thing as Raichu back in last format. It was either you played 2-2 or you played 4-4 or you just didn't play it. So.
I actually saw someone play a 2-3, like a 3-2 line, but yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. That's really what I'd change. I think the deck is pretty solid at this point. But looking to Primal Clash, I really think Teammates is going to go great in the deck.
Oh yeah.
Like Teammates is going to go great in almost any deck. Well, within reason, it'll be good in some decks.
Yeah.
But it's really good in the deck because they can knock out your Robo Substitute, which is really easy to knock out. You just play Teammates.
Yeah.
And I'll just find a DCE and a Muscle Band and wreck you. Okay.
Maybe you should like take out. Yeah, actually, we'll probably still play Karina, like maybe like 2 Karina.
Still gotta play Karina because it's your main Pokemon search.
Yeah. So would you also play maybe a Maxi or something like that?
A what?
Team like the Maxi's like
hidden the Maxi's trick? Like hidden ball trick or Maxi's hidden ball trick. No, not really. It's too much of a luck card more than anything. I don't know. I think I'd rather stay with the consistency and just play Karina, honestly. Because the deck's already consistent enough as is with Karina, but.
So, do you think this deck will still be in the format for will still be around even when Primal Clash comes out?
That's hard to tell. Everyone thought after Phantom Force's release, everyone thought Donphan was going to die off because Enhanced Hammer was back, and it still did really good at Cities. I don't really want to make a prediction as to whether or not it'll be good. I feel like with the water support that we're getting in the new set with like the alpha growth and whatever dive ball.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be as good. It'll still be good. I just don't know if it'll be, tier 1 like it is right now.
I don't even think it's tier 1 anymore, to be honest. I think it's tier 2 simply because
tier 2, 1.5. It doesn't matter. Tiers shouldn't exist, but oh well. But it'll still be a good deck for sure.
In my opinion, Donphan is a good deck, but people have just kind of found.
People have found out how to beat it.
People are just so used to
literally the only way to beat it, play Deoxys in your Virizion Genesect deck, or play Fairies for goodness sake.
Yeah.
That's the only way you'll beat it. Or play like an Aegislash metal deck. I saw a YouTube video of a guy just played 3 Aegislash, 4-3 Bronzong, and a Heatran. Top 8 with it.
So, any closing thoughts on this deck?
I love it with all my heart. That's kind of weird to say, just because, that's the first time, like I said, I've ever topped at a sanctioned event. Got my first championship points with it.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be pretty important to me for the rest of the season, if not for the rest of my life. That's really stupid, but whatever. Um, Also, I really think this deck is honestly, I think it's a pretty good deck to give to beginners. That might be really silly of me to say, but I have some friends who are just starting to pick up the game,
Yeah.
and we play on Play TCG. So I gave them my Donphan list, and they seem to be getting it really well. They seem to be getting the ability with Hawlucha. They seem to be understanding how to attach tools, playing stadiums. I
Well,
feel like it's just an overall good deck if you have people who are wanting to transition from beginner to competitive player.
well,
So
Donphan is kind of like Blastoise was. Like Blastoise was a very simple deck, an easy deck to get.
Yeah, Blastoise was simple. It was just Deluge, Black Ballista, kill everything. But
The difference between Donphan and Blastoise is that Donphan is a whole hell of a lot cheaper.
kind of. Oh yeah, no, yeah, easily. No,
You
I
can
wasn't thinking about the EXs. I'm just like Blastoise is like $2, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, never mind.
and then the beaches and then all that other stuff and
Oh
you gotta
god,
do it.
don't even get me started on Beach.
Like this
it,
is a really good cheap deck to get. I feel like when it first came out, like Donphan was like not even $1 when.
yeah, because the reason it got so good was all the support that came out in Furious Fist.
Yeah.
I mean, when it was released in Plasma Storm, the most it could be doing
Uh,
was just Silver Bangle and doing 70, which really isn't that great. You're
nah.
trying to find 2-hit KOs with it.
Nah.
I mean, apparently some people tried it with Aerodactyl from Dark Explorers that just added 10 to everything, but that's just clunky with fossils.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
I don't think fossils will ever be good.
yeah. But with Furious Fist, you got strong energy and you got Fighting Stadium.
Yeah.
And along with Muscle Band being a thing, you're pretty much 2-hit KOing, if not 1-hit KOing a lot of stuff. So
Alright, so
that's really good.
Yeah, so that's all we have for today, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please like, subscribe, all that other stuff. Say goodbye, Chris.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for having me. Thanks for tolerating me.
Nah, I think we'll see you again on this channel, so like within a few months.
All right. Cool.
Alright,
see you around, everyone.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Please like, subscribe, all that silly stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.